Hello all, I am Pavithra, working as Assistant Professor at Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. Today's session we will be discussing about what is an corporate governance, an introduction to corporate governance in an organization, what are the responsibilities of each of the individual employees, and what are the four pillars of corporate governance, and a brief explanation about each of the pillars in this video. So let us move on to the next slides. Starting with introduction of corporate governance. As of now, in our previous class, we have clearly discussed about what is company law, what are the rules and regulations in an organization, and what is a company, what is an organization, who are all a board of directors, who are all the shareholders, what are the different types of shares, roles and responsibility of a director, different types of directors, types of shareholders, etc., in our previous classes. Now coming on to a corporate governance. What is your idea about corporate governance? So actually corporate governance is a systematic approach of controlling and directing an organization. So who is responsible for controlling an organization? Definitely a board of director. So a board of director is responsible for the governance of the company, an organization and industry. So likewise, as a board of director has the responsibility of governing the organization or a company, as well as a shareholder to have a responsibility to govern the organization. So why it is important for a shareholder to govern an organization? Definitely, as we discussed before in our previous classes, shareholders have invested in an organization. So shareholders are the owners of the company and definitely they have rights to appoint a right director, right auditors to a job because they have invested in our organization, and they will be seeking to the growth of the organization and to get in returns of their investment. So it is a responsibility of shareholders to appoint the right directors and the auditors and to satisfy themselves that an organization is running in an appropriate governance and in the appropriate structures, and it is moving on in a right way. So the shareholders' role in governance is to appoint a right director and auditors to an organization for the growth and development of the organization and to return of investment they have made to the organization. Hence, the corporate governance is all about how one directors of the organization moves on the organization in a direction. It can be briefly explained as a day-to-day operations and activities of a board of director to reach the success or goal of the organization. Hence, it is a responsibility of the board of directors to set the right aim, right objective for the organization and move their organization, move their employees in the right direction and supervise them and manage and control the activities of the organization to reach the epitome of the success. So corporate governance is actually the role of directors to govern, direct and um, control the employees of the organization to reach the desired goal or objective. Moving on to the four pillars of corporate governance, first and foremost, accountability, transparency, fairness, and responsibility. In every kind of an organization, not only to a particular type of an industry, but in all the organization, it is most important for a board of directors, shareholders, employees to be accountable, transparent, fairness, and responsibility. It is more important for these peoples to follow these four pillars of corporate governance to reach the success of the organization. So now we will be detailedly discussing about each of the pillars separately. First and foremost, accountability. Accountability is actually about the responsibility of the individual employee, individual board of director or a shareholder. So it is a responsibility of every individual to comply with their works. Rather than blaming of each other person or rather than blaming other opponent person for a mistake or for an action, we should take a responsibility to complete our work in a right way, take a right decision, move on in an appropriate way and complete the work in a appropriate time period in a most right and perfect way to reach the success. Rather than blaming each other, it is best to move on in the right direction to reach the success by taking our own risks on the actions and the results. Transparency. Transparency is all about being open about our decisions, our actions in an organization. As we all discussed, an organization is a place where a group of people work together to achieve a common goal or objective. In that case, each and every individual employee must know all the steps of the organization to avoid the chaos or last minute confusions. So being transparent avoids mistakes, avoid chaos, avoids misunderstanding and various problems. And this helps to move the organization without any flaws, and it helps the employees to complete their tasks and works in the right time. Fairness is all about treating all the employees equally rather than their position, rather their experience, or rather the work done by them. Fairness is, as I said, fairness is all about treating every individual employee equally in a right and appropriate way. Fairness is as much as about the ethics to be followed in an organization to treat all employee equally. So unequal treatment of the employees leads to lack of support and lack of interest of the employees towards organization, and definitely it will be resulted back in the uh, work of the employees, and it would be degrading the work process, and this may affect the organization's growth as well. So it is most important for an organization to give an equal opportunity, equal responsibility, at the same time to treat everyone equally in a right and appropriate way. So as we discussed priorly, every individual in an organization have their own responsibility, own work and own process. So each of the employees should be more responsible and accountable to their work, and should be more transparent and fair about their works, rather than hiding everything, rather than treating people unequally. People should be more accountable, more responsible about their works and process. Your responsibility and accountability for your actions speaks lots about your work. Poor performance has their own consequences and own results. So it is most important for every employee to rely on their own responsibilities, own goal to reach the desired success. In today's class, we have discussed about an introduction to what is in corporate governance, what are the roles, what are the responsibilities of a board of directors, of an employee and a shareholder in governing an organization, and the four pillars of a successful corporate governance in this video. So in upcoming videos, we will be detailedly discussing about the various corporate governance topic, company law topic, and various human resource and finance topic in the upcoming video. Thank you.